soundtrack for There Be Dragons was composed by Stephen Warbeck, who won an Oscar for his soundtrack for Shakespeare in Love. And at the screening that we did in Rome a week ago, one of the people who attended the screening was Ennio Morricone, who's the most famous soundtrack composer in Italy. Did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for instance. He also did the music for The Mission, Roland Joffé's film from the 1980s, with the very famous soundtrack with the drums and the flutes and the oboes. And after the screening, Morricone was very generous in his praise for Joffé. He's an absolutely fabulous director, and he said, this film confirms what I always knew, that Roland Joffé is a great director. And I have actually an amusing little story about Joffé and Morricone, which is once, a few years ago, I had lunch with Roland in my neighborhood here in Rome, and we were walking around afterwards, and we kind of stumbled into a piazza called Piazza Euclide. There's a big church in the middle of it, big round church, and Roland looked surprised. He said, I've been here. This is where they recorded the soundtrack for The Mission. It turns out that underneath the church there's a recording studio, and that was where Morricone did the soundtrack for The Mission.